Hi, I am Michelle, and you are visiting Big Valley Living. Thank you for coming by. Um, Recently, we talked about the fact that my stage 4 colon cancer has returned. I'm trying to adjust this back a little bit. And so I talked about a little bit of preparing and a few other things, but then I kind of went radio silent. And it's taken me a week to sort of gather my thoughts to a point where I feel like I'm comfortable now being on camera talking about it again. Um, and I'm ready to move forward. And I'm going to talk about all of that today because it's super important. Um, so, I have stage 4 colon cancer, and I've been stage 4 since 2020. It went from my colon, where that was resected in 2017, to my ovary, and then I had a hysterectomy. Anyway, when it went from my colon to my ovary, that's when it became stage 4. So my husband and I have talked about this, and I know that I was stage 4, and I knew I was stage 4. But my own brain sort of protected me from that for quite some time. He knew it for sure. So did our family. But I just kind of put it out of my mind so that I would have a positive mindset. And when I talk about having stage 4 colon cancer, especially over the past year and a half to 2 years when I've actually talked about it on YouTube, it's easy to talk about and say that you have stage 4 cancer when you're in remission, which I was. Because when you're in remission, although you're fighting it and you're doing things to prevent it from coming back, or you think you are, you're still not actively fighting it, like, undergoing chemotherapy and stuff like that. And I did do chemotherapy a couple of years ago after having surgery to take out a spot of cancer that was in my omentum. And then we did preventive pills called capecitabine. And that ended a couple of years ago. And then in January, just a few weeks ago, I found out that it's back. It's in my omentum again, which is not a major organ, which makes me feel good. But it is back, and there's too much of it in the omentum to be operable, at least at this point. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on up here in the past week. Okay, so what happened was I wasn't feeling good. I have not physically felt good for a couple of months. I attributed that to some medication I was taking to control my diabetes that I got after I started my rounds of chemo years ago. And so I attributed it to that medication. My stomach was like, I had like stabbing pains. And I have a high pain threshold tolerance. So I really didn't say much to the doctor about it. I just kind of took it as, oh, it's just what it is. Then I found out that I had the cancer, that it was back, and I sort of thought it was that. But I mean, it was severe enough where I wasn't eating more than 3 or 4 tablespoons of any solid food in a day. No food tasted normal, and it hurt to lay down, it hurt to sit, it hurt to walk, it hurt to do everything. And so that played into it, right? You physically don't feel good. You know you're getting ready to start chemotherapy. That in itself has its own set of issues. I want to prepare my home, and I want to prepare myself as much as I can before I start taking chemotherapy so that the house is in order, so that I have things ready for my husband to make his life easier, for cooking and stuff like that. Make sure we have things set aside. Make sure I have plenty of things ready for the dogs, for their food. there's numerous things, right? Getting all the laundry done, making sure the bedrooms and everything is just super, super clean. Okay, so there's all that prep, but I didn't feel good enough to be really doing it. And I don't really like to ask a lot of people for help because people are busy. Anyway, we also had planned on going camping and would have left yesterday for a camping trip that we had planned well in advance of knowing that I had cancer. And I was getting anxious about that because it takes time to get your camping gear all together. Then you get there, then you set up, then it was kind of muddy and rainy here and up in the foothills where we were going to go. And so it started wearing on me on that. I mean, I really got into my own head, you guys, really bad. And I'm thinking about all the work it's going to take. Just letting the dogs out to go to the bathroom at night would mean when they came in, their feet would have to be wiped down. And because when we go camping, we all sleep together, then there's the whole bedding issue. So I'm thinking, okay, I've got 4 to 6 hours of setup and getting ready to leave. Then we go, we set up, then we have our camping, which would be fun. Then we're coming back the day before I start chemo, which meant by the time we got home, that entire day and evening would be spent cleaning up the trailer, cleaning up the bedding, getting everything back together. And I would have lost a few days of just relaxing and getting my house together. All of these things conspired in my head. But in all of that, realizing that stage 4 cancer is not a joke really, really hit me hard. Because again, when you are in remission, it's easy to say the words. And when you're not in remission, well, now we're fighting. Now we're fighting hard. And it's not going to be fun. But it's also not going to be the worst thing in the world. I have done chemo before, and this chemo that I'm doing, although not the most pleasant side effects, I know I don't run the risk of getting neuropathy, permanent neuropathy, like I did the first time I had infusion. So I'm really happy about that. I had to sort of resolve that in my own head. And I'm not trying to poo-poo it because I have to face it. I have to face what I'm doing. And that's why I'm sharing all of this with you. It's taken me a few days to just want to be able to talk to you and how to talk to you about this. So Thursday morning, maybe Wednesday night, I finally told my husband, as much as I want to go camping this weekend, especially before starting chemotherapy, I just really, I don't want to lose the time that we could be spending here, making sure that everything's ready. Going out, we can go out for walks. We could take a day trip, which is what we're going to do. We'd take a day trip and just go out and cruise around the area. Maybe go find some wildflowers that are starting to pop up or something, because here in Northern California, we have fairly mild winters, and we might have some wildflowers like some daffodils or something popping up soon. So we have a lot of places we can go, and where a day trip would be just fine. Take a picnic, something like that. As soon as I told him that I didn't necessarily want to go camping, he also was relieved. So he didn't want to tell me that he didn't necessarily want to go camping. I was preserving his feelings by telling him I didn't necessarily want to go camping. And after it was out in the open, we both felt better. Just emotionally, we both felt better. So there's sort of lesson number 1. I've really been struggling with not being positive. I am a very positive person by nature, and I couldn't find positive to save my life over the past few weeks. And so, I don't want to talk to my husband about that because I sort of want to keep him. I'm not protecting his feelings, but I don't want to do a dump on him because he's already feeling yucky. And I don't want to do that to my friends because they don't even know what to do or say. Everybody feels helpless in this situation. So anyway, we talk about it. Things are better, right? Already. In fact, that night before we went to bed, he said, "You've already changed your disposition. now that we know we're not going camping. So that was sort of the beginning. That was Wednesday night. That was the beginning of me beginning to feel better and to wrap my head around what's going to happen. There's no doubt about what's going to happen. Then on Thursday morning, I went to my counselor. That was extremely helpful. We went to couples counseling as soon as we found out that the cancer was back and that I would be starting the chemotherapy, although we didn't have all of the details about where and how severe the cancer is. But we did go together. We did talk to the counselor about, here it is again, and talk about our feelings. And this time on Thursday, he said, I want you to go by yourself because I want you to talk about all of your fears. And I want you to talk about whatever you want without my presence interfering with your true feelings. Now, I've asked him to promise that he'll do the same thing. But I went to the counselor and we talked. And she actually, we've seen her over the years. And she said, I have never seen you not positive. I have never seen you not find that place that you can pull from for strength. And I can't believe I'm seeing this. And she's seen us for a long time. So she asked me, what my worries were. Oh, I've got worries about all kinds of things. I have worries about money. I have not because we don't have enough money. What happens if I do die? Right? What happens? Can my husband make all the payments? These are normal concerns. We have great insurance. I'm not worried about that. There are so many things I am grateful for. But there are also those nagging things that you have in your head. What if, what if, what if? And I can't what if myself to the point where I'm paralyzed. And that is what was happening. The things I'm worried about are unlikely to happen. And that's what I had to get myself in front of. Okay. So I got through that, and my counselor was a huge part of that. That particular night, when I went to bed, my stomach was beginning to feel better. Now, I told you guys, my stomach hurt for a long time before this. But I went to bed and my stomach didn't hurt as bad. And then I woke up and I slept all night. My stomach didn't hurt. I had one spot and it didn't hurt so bad I couldn't sleep. Woke up the next morning, that's yesterday morning, and I felt that much better. Yesterday, I actually ate a full meal with my husband for dinner. That's the first full meal I have eaten in weeks. Over a month, well over a month. So I think clearing all this stuff has made my body feel better too. And I apologize for this video is going to be sort of all over the place, but I think it's an important video. In this, I've also been watching comments. I haven't been responding because I was here, but I have had such kind comments from people and such encouragement from my YouTube family, and I want to thank all of you for that as well. You really have no idea the power of prayer and the power of positive thoughts. So thank you for that. Also in all of this, this isn't necessarily something to celebrate, but it's a milestone. Last week we hit 10,000 YouTube viewers. So that means a lot of people are getting value out of seeing what is going on and a real picture of the different things that happen. And that makes me happy too. I got a comment yesterday from somebody who got their colonoscopy, and they wouldn't have gotten their colonoscopy had they not been watching my videos. That right there is like the price of admission, because that's the whole point of doing this. And so I'm really glad that this is having a positive impact on people and having them make choices that are healthy choices and that can possibly save their life or save them from getting too far along before they can do something about it. The other thing that I want to tell you is that, like, this morning I woke up and I felt great. 100% normal. And again, it's letting my brain process, it's letting my brain let my body feel better. It's just allowing people in. It's allowing myself to be upset. I had a friend who called me Thursday afternoon. I've never met this friend in person, but we've been friends for a few years now. And we talked for over an hour. And when I got off the phone with her, my heart was so much fuller. And it was because I let her in. I spoke with a good friend that I've known since elementary school. We used to be sports nemesis when we were in elementary school, and we ended up at the same high school playing on the same teams. So we've known each other for a minute, and we had a nice long talk. I spent a day with my cousin, who is my first best friend. I've known her longer than I've known my brother, and we spent a day. We took a drive in the country, and we laughed and we cried, and all of these things opened my heart back up and allowed me to just allow myself to be clearer. If there's a lesson there, it is to connect with people that you love, that you care about, and who care about you, and to be honest with them. So this morning, and my other friends are checking in on me, and they're giving me the space I need. I have a neighbor who was trying to cheer me up, and I said, just give me a day. Please give me a day to just sort of lick my wounds and look within. And I did, and she did, and that helped me. So this morning, when I got up, my husband had some running around to do. And he said, look, why don't you just stay home and do the things that you want to do around the house? And in doing so, I helped a friend. I was going to moderate a video for her on YouTube today. And she said, hey, why don't you come on to the video and just join me? So I did, and we had a great time. Thanks, Angela. And so I got off the phone. I mean, we finished the video that she had, the live video. And we were talking about freeze-dried February. By the way, go watch that, because that helps me to prepare my home for my own healing process. So I did that, and then we got off of the live, and we stayed on a few extra minutes, and we exchanged just a few really nice moments. I cried, she cried, and again, it's that human connection, right? So I get off of that with her because she's got stuff to do and I have things to do. And my brother called and he was going to borrow some stuff. So he comes over, and on his way over, the mailman came. And the mailman comes up with a package. I just thought he was delivering the mail, actually. Well, I thought that it was weird that he was bringing a package. We're not expecting anything, right? Okay. I'm holding my microphone so that it isn't too loud and I'm not too close to you. I'm getting better at this. And I'm done crying for the time being, because I had a good cry. My husband called me after the mailman came, and I said, this is weird, I have a package. And then I looked at the package, and it's from Leanne at the Mennonite farmhouse. And I said, it's a soft package in a box. What's going on? And he goes, oh, open it. It wasn't supposed to be there till Tuesday, which is the day I start chemotherapy. And what I get is a handmade quilt from my friend. She made this quilt for me. Okay, I'm going to put my microphone down, so hopefully you're going to be able to hear me. Look at this quilt. I'll try and take a picture of it, but you're going to see a lot of this quilt. And I'm going to put it around my shoulders right now. Not only did Leanne make me this beautiful quilt to keep myself warm. Let me read what this hand-stitched label says. May this quilt keep you in prayers and warmth For Michelle from Leanne, 2025. I called her crying. Thank you, Leanne. Thanks for listening to me cry. And I made her cry. Gotcha. But then I found out that not only was my husband in cahoots with this because he had to give her our address, it explains why my husband was happy that I decided not to go camping, because she had called him the day before, or the day I decided to tell him I didn't want to go camping, is when she called and said, I need your address. And said that she was sending something, and then she was a little concerned about us maybe being gone, and, you know, you don't want any porch pirates. And we live in town, so nobody really knows, you know, when you live in town, you think, oh my gosh, you know, people are going to go out to your front yard, and I'm going to knock on wood and say we're pretty lucky. We don't have that problem. But anyway, now I know even more why my husband was a little more relieved that I didn't want to go camping. I also got a Valentine's Day card from Leanne with a little piece of pizza on it, because I love pizza and she loves pizza, and we talk about pizza a lot. So thank you, Leanne. And then there's a lovely note inside that her and her husband are keeping me and my husband in their prayers. So the point here, I guess, is that letting people in is important. And if you're going through this, let people in. Don't push them out. Take the time you need to get into your own groove. Okay, I was scared that I wasn't going to get out of that funk. I really was. But as soon as I started working on it and thinking and praying and listening to music that made me happy, sad, and everything in between, I started to heal myself. And then all of my friends and family surrounded me and made it that much better. So in cahoots with Leanne was Renee at Pie Creek Farm, Angela at the Inquisitive Farm Wife, and Mouse Toes. And they all conspired with my husband to make sure that I knew how well I was loved. And you're all being just as kind with all of your comments and everything. So I felt like this was the perfect day to come on and resume making videos about this journey that I'm on. I will be starting chemotherapy on Tuesday. And if I can set everything up right without it being invasive or intrusive around with the people around me, I'm probably going to show you the first round of chemotherapy. You're just going to probably see images and pictures and maybe a little snippet here and there that I'll put together when I get home. But I want you to see the reality of it. I'm also going to get my hair cut Monday because my doctor has told me, and everybody else in the infusion center has told me, that the chemo I'll be taking is going to make me lose my hair. I'm okay with that. I really am. It'll grow back. I've seen it happen for thousands of people. I know I'll get my hair back, so I'm okay with that. And I don't know what it's going to feel like, and I hope I don't have big fat freckles all over my head, but if I do, I do. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it today. I'm overwhelmed in a good way. My heart is so full, and thank you for spending this time to listen to what's been going on. I am still planning on doing my gratitude videos on Sundays. I have a plan of how I want things to look when I do them. So I don't know that I'm going to have the time to make it look the way I want it to look for tomorrow. So I may just sit and read a few of them to you, but ultimately I'm still going to share. Monday, I'm going to get my hair cut. I'll come on, show you my haircut when I'm done and let you know how I'm feeling. The day before. And then on Tuesday, I'll share with you what we go through and what it's like when I come home. Thank you for visiting Big Valley Living. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me. Thank you to my friends. Thank you to my family. Thank you to everybody who's watching and who is sharing this with people who need a message to allow yourself to go through everything you have to go through. And and to find that place, because you've got to find that place that makes you positive. I couldn't come on here. I felt dead inside, so I could not come on here before. And there were even people commenting, no matter what you're going through, we're here for you. And to the people who've told me that, you also are helping me to feel happy inside. So thank you for that. Thank you for the grace. Thanks for stopping by. I guess I'll see you later, everybody. Be kind.